Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Gwen Chietta and welcome to this edition of Workforce Voices. Today we are joined by Don Scott. He is the Senior Vice President of KRA Corporation. Today he will be talking with us about the important role of advocacy and how NAWDP can support its members in that venture. So welcome, Don.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What is advocacy? It can sound like one of those elusive type abstract things.
I guess my view of advocacy is just where passion and education meet, and where you have a passion for something, you feel comfortable speaking to someone and telling them about what it is that you do and the value of what you provide.
Does it take a special person? I mean, who can be an advocate?
I think anybody can be an advocate. If you have that passion and you're in it, and you love what you do, obviously you want to go and tell other folks about it. One of the examples I always use is a parent and a child. If you have your child and you see your child needs help, you will go to the end of the earth to help them and advocate for them. And that's the same thing that we should be doing for the work that we do. And anybody can do it. It doesn't have to be the project manager or leaders within an organization. Anybody within the organization can do it.
I think it's a really important point. So regardless of where you are, what your role is, we all can be change agents. What is the first step? If somebody who's watching this says, well, how do I become an advocate? There's an issue that I'm passionate about.
My grandfather used to always say, a poor dog don't wag his own tail. So it means you have to be happy about what you do and tell your own story. And then I think the next step is how to get engaged with other organizations, get engaged with your leadership team to see what it is that you can provide to educate the public and educate, because you want to turn the public into champions for your organization and what it is that you do.
And what about relationships with state, legislators? What do you suggest in terms of making those connections?
I was not always a senior vice president. I was a line staff. I came in and I volunteered on folks' campaign, folks that I felt passionate about, folks that I thought had the best interests of workforce in mind. I volunteered, got to know their staff, got to know their leaders. And since I've been here in NAWDP, I've been able to work with Bridget Brown, our executive director, to get congressmen, senators that I've met through the years to come and participate in our conferences. And I was just a lowly, career agent working as a case manager. I didn't see myself as that. I saw myself as someone who was advocating for all of workforce.
So you have these connections with people, you network. What is the true value of that? What can those relationships do for an organization or an issue?
Well, you create a champion. You create someone who's as passionate, who sees the value in what it is that you do, and they will fight for you, because it's better to have someone fighting for you than you just being out front everything. And that goes from everything from funding to recognizing the value of what you do for job seekers and businesses every day in workforce.
Right, so it's really kind of building a groundswell, I guess, of support, and the more people who are on board, the more likely you are to be able to create change.
It's better to have an umbrella and not need it than need an umbrella and not have it, and that's what those relationships are. When you're able to call on those folks and say, hey, this is Don or whoever's calling, they know what you're about and they'll fight for you.
And what can NAWDP do? So if somebody says, I really want to be more involved, how can NAWDP help? I mean, they have some resources and things for their members.
On our website, we have, if you want to know how to invite a VIP to your center or to where your place of work to get them in, from writing an op-ed piece, getting that in the newspaper. Bridget has well over 500 connections between LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and she can tap into resources and get the things that you need to help you. And number two, you can always pick up the phone and call Bridget or myself. Very accessible.
That is absolutely fabulous, Don. What great recommendations to get started. Thank you so much for these important updates and ways to get started in advocacy. And thanks to all of you for joining us for this edition of Workforce Voices.